serving both of them.
But how come the apprentice have so much money if he's just working for this guy?
Because he didn't have obligations. He was just receiving and saving.
So this
in
is
that
the
moment,
Dvarim.
Hashem saw that. He said, in that moment, he decreed destruction.
So let's continue. So Ele HaDvarim, as we say, by the way, we always L'chaim.
In the army, we used to say it's time to shoot.
That's right. And remember, one bullet for one person. Don't waste.
Yeah.
איך אומרים כסף
says-
באנגלית?
Huh?
כסף, להקשיב, כסף.
To listen.
Listen.
Be'ezat Hashem. So we said now Moshe Rabbeinu last 36 days. Devarim, as we say, Ele avak lashon hara. Be careful what you say. By the way, we always read this parasha before Tisha B'Av. Kol hazman. You know, Tisha B'Av is coming upon us next Wednesday night, Thursday. Nachon? And he said we always read this parasha. Av, what's Av? Is an acronym. Elul Ba. Elul is coming. Be ready. What's the sign of Av? What's the zodiac? Aryeh. Nachon? Aryeh is really the word Yir'ah. You should have fear. The lion is the king of the animals, right? You know, lions barely hunt. They're female than the food, the via.
Yeah.
Aryeh is an acronym. Av, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Rosh Hashanah Rabbah. Is Aryeh. You have to be ready. A very big day is coming. And of course, Av, what happened on Tisha B'Av? We lost both our temple. Av, Aleph, Edom. Right? Bet, Bavel. Those are the two. Babylonia and the Romans, Titus and Nebuchadnezzar. It says, Moshe Rabbeinu, the Zohar says something amazing. Ele advarim asher diber Moshe. For the last 40 years, Moshe's voice was Ruach HaKodesh, not his own. The Pa'am Rishona is the first time they hear the voice of Moshe. Moshe was cured, Livrut. Moshe Rabbeinu was cured when Hashem spoke. Anochi Hashem, everybody was healthy. There was no blinds. לא היה אחד עיוור, לא היה אחד פיסח, לא היה אחד גידם. כולם היו בריאים 100%. Everybody was healthy. Moshe was also healed from his stuttering. But Ruach HaKodesh spoke with the 4 books that we have before that. This is Mishneh Torah, right? It's called Mishneh Torah, right? What's Mishneh? Torah, right? Now is a new generation. Moshe says, Hashem, originally there were supposed to be 4 books. That's it. There is a one Gemara says there were supposed to be 5 books plus 1. What do you mean? It says Yoshua. Originally the 5 books of Torah and Yoshua and come to the land of Israel, and that's it. But because all the twists and turns that we saw with all these places that Moshe just give them the rebuke, everything is extended. So of course we said that, you know, it says, Vayomer Moshe el Adonai, Bi Adoni. This is in the book of Shmot. Moshe complains, Lo ish devarim anochi. Ani lo יכול לדבר. Hashem gave him an ability to speak. מידה כנגד מידה. עכשיו תגיד את זה. אלה הדברים that Moshe said. Not Hashem. Hashem gave him the Ruach HaKodesh to speak. And of course he says,
עכשיו משתמש בו בתור ספיקר.
כן. Moshe asked Hashem, the Gemara says, I want to teach the new generation the whole Torah again. Because none of them were in Mount Sinai. This is a new generation who was born after. עכשיו he's coming to the land of Israel. אז אני רוצה לתת להם את התורה שידעו איך להינצל. So they can sustain themselves in Israel. In Israel there is no Shekhinah. There is no man and there is no water of Miriam. The 3 elements, Miriam brought the water, Moshe brought the man, and Aaron brought the Shekhinah. They're all going to die. Right? We know Miriam and Aaron already died. Moshe is about to die 36 days from now. And he teach the whole generation everything from Aleph to...
שאלה.
כן.
מה הייתה העוצמה של הדיסביליטי של משה? זאת אומרת, הוא היה מגמגם לגמרי, או קצת, הוא לא יכול לדבר בכלל.
הרבה.
הוא לא יכול
הוא לא יכול לדבר בכלל, מבחינת דבר כמו שצריך, הוא נשמע מצחיק. בגלל זה השם אמר לו, אהרון ידבר לך, ואתה תהיה לו אלוהים. You know, Elohim is not just God. Because we know there's many people called Elohim. Right? Moshe ish Elohim. Right? It says that the people of Israel before the sin of the golden calf, they were Bnei Elohim, אחת כאחת האדם תמותון. Because in sin, you'll die like mankind. The people of Israel reached the highest level on the Vav of Sivan after the 49 days of the Omer, the 50th day. They became the קדושה of אדם הראשון before the sin. הגיעו לרמה של אדם הראשון לפני החטא הנחש והיין וחווה וכל זה. But because of the sin of the golden calf, everything was taken away.
זאת אומרת, אם ככה, היה קיים העולם הרוחני לפני העולם הפיזי.
הגמרא אומרת, מסכת שבת,
נכון?
כן, מסכת שבת פ"ח עמוד ב', the Gemara says, מסכת שבת 88, the Torah existed 974 generations before this world. How do we know that? When do we receive the Torah? We said, right, on Shavuot. What happened in Bereshit? It says, Vayeda Adam et Chava ishto. There was already Kiddushin, there was Yerusin, there was the marriage, right? There was Mitzvah, Pru'urvu, there was Brit Milah, Avraham in Bereshit, not to eat Gid Anasheh in Bereshit, Noach, the sacrifice of kosher animals. There's a lot of stuff before the Torah was given. נכון? הרבה דברים היו לפני מתן תורה. הרבה הלכות, כשרות, everything was already. The physical giving of the Torah lasted 40 years. The whole desert is receiving the Torah. Not on Shavuot. Shavuot was only the 10 Commandments. And then every time something happened, Hashem says, come to Moshe, let's write it. Now that it happened. נכון? כל מה שקרה נכתב.
אז למה עד היום אומרים חג מתן תורה?
זה
למה
טעות,
לא מתקנים את זה?
טעות. האמת היא, אני תיקנתי כמה חב"דניקים, ושלחתי את זה גם להדקוורטר שלהם, והם הודו לי. כי לא כתוב שהשם נתן תורה. Yeah.
כן, זה נכון.
Hashem did not give the Torah on Shavuot. You know, you do the pamphlet, even this year of Chabad, if you got the Chabad pamphlet of Shavuot, it says Chag Matan Torah.
Okay.
No, we did not receive the Torah. The Torah was given finally when Moshe died. The whole Torah. בכתב. Right?
אבל ten commandments, לפי דעתי, הם העיקר של התורה. בגלל זה אומרים מתן תורה, כי זה העיקר.
10 הדיברות.
מ10 דיברות, כל הדברים צומחים משם.
כנגד 10 המאמרות. Hashem created the world in 10 utterance. 10 מאמרות. השם אמר 10 דברים, וכל העולם נברא. נכון? Hashem gave the 10 plagues against the sins of the, כן.
Is there a thermostat behind that?
Yes, the God knows how to do it. But you called?
It's very. I think we're all called in there.
No, so God, go ahead.
It's so nice.
I am losing it over here.
It's okay. No, the people
Sweater on. I was about to take your sweater.
סליחה. All right, so let's
So
continue.
nice.
Your master.
So we said this is the Av. Av is Elul Ba, and of course this is Avak Lashon Hara, Be'ezat Hashem, and this is the Geula. He says that, you know, it says in Masechet Kritot, there's 30. In Masechet Kritot says there are 36 things that you have to die for. Chaz v'chalila karet. You know what's karet? Karet is your nefesh is gone. Gam ha'olam hazeh and gam ha'olam haba. In this world and the world to come. Okay? Karet. You know, karet
Is death,
yeah,
excision,
but what's the letters karet? Is the word letters of keter. Right?
crown.
Keter is the crown in Gematria 620 is the mitzvot. There's 620 mitzvot. 613, נכון? ועוד 7 the Rabbanan.
Or 7 Noach Haidlos.
No, that's part of the 613.
Oh,
בטח.
interesting.
Yes. You know, Noahite laws are the obligation of the Goyim.
Right.
The part of the 613 mitzvot. Okay? Goyim doesn't have to marry. There's no law for them to get married. Only Kiddushin is just for Jewish people. That's why, for an example, when you go to a cemetery of Goyim, you never be Tameh. There's no Tumah of the Goyim. There's Tumah of a Jew. If you go to Chaz v'chalila, you touch anything that's dead, there's a Tumah, impurity. Because the Jewish people are the purest neshamot. You know, the neshamot of the Jewish people is not the same like the Goyim. It's two different completely.
אני בעולם הבא יש הפרדה ביניהם.
בטח. מסכת כריתות, פרק א', משנה א', says 36 כריתות בתורה, and he lists all the 36 of them. What's karet is keter. Whoever doesn't honor the 620 will be removed from the world. Now, today we don't have 620 mitzvot. You know how many mitzvot we have today that we can do?
They're just
Less than 150.
Many relate
Because
to the
most
temple,
of
the
the
office.
many
Yeah.
temple, many the Kohanim, Levim, kings, Bikurim, all kinds of korbanot. Most of them we cannot do. אפשר לעשות היום מצוות.
But also
Now-
others are very easy and natural and normal. Then you are fulfilling them, the prohibitions of
That's
the
right.
Arayot.
So if you cannot do a mitzvah, you learn about it. ונשלמה פרים שפתנו. Right? You have to, נשלמה is להשלים, to be complete. Now, if you don't know korbanot, we don't have sacrifice. היום אפשר לעשות קורבן. Right? אז אתה לומד על הקורבן, זה כמו שעשית. We learned this from יעקב אבינו. יעקב says to, עם לבן גרתי ותרי"ג מצבור שמרתי. Garti is 6:13, Taryag 6:13. He said, I learned about him, I don't have to do it. Because Yaakov didn't have the temple yet. Yaakov put the first stone to be a temple, a heaven that he put. Merashotav was really, he said, I want to build the Beit HaMikdash. That's why he came to Esav and he says, you and I, we can build the Mikdash. Yesh li shor v'chamor. I have the elements of the Mashiach. Mashiach ben Yosef and Mashiach ben David. Shor v'chamor. כן.
מבחינת העוצמה של שלושת האבות שלנו, פעם מישהו אמר שיעקב הוא הכי חזק, זאת אומרת, כאילו, וואו,
כן,
יש בזה משהו
כן,
שכולם...
נכון.
בשביל היהודים רק, אבל...
מה זה אכפת להם?
לא בשביל
אברהם
יהודים,
אבינו
אבל
זה נאמבר 1.
הכוונה אברהם, יצחק
לא, ככה,
ויעקב.
בוא נגיד, יש כל מיני, מה שאתה אומר אתה צודק, מה שאומר צודק.
Can we translate in English?
Yes, כן. He asked who was, more important, Abraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov. So everybody was important for their own time and reason. But Yaakov Avinu merited the 12 tribes. Originally, במקור, אדם היה צריך לעשות את 12 השבטים.
No,
Okay.
Rivka is the one who should.
First Adam. Then he said, then Noach. Noach did 3, was about to have another one. 4th, his son castrated him. Right? Ham.
Yeah.
You know, Noach's name is not Noach originally. His name Menachem. Menachem Av.
Oh, it's
Yenachem.
true.
That's right, you know.
Nechama, yeah.
He says that Noach was the Mashiach.
should be the Messiah.
Noach was the Mashiach of his time. If he had the 4 sons, what's Mashiach? Menachem, Shem, Yafet, and Ham. Control all
Wow.
4. That's the word Mashiach.
משיח, שם, יפת.
מנחם. כן, היו לו 3 ילדים, right? 3 בנות. את שם, את חם, ואת יפת. את זה דור. בכל אחד היה לו אחות, לכל אח. He says if he had the 4 sons, that would be the Mashiach.
אני מנחם,
מנחם, הוא ינחם אותנו.
זה מחזק.
למה מנחם אב?
מחזק אותנו.
נכון.
ינחם אותנו מהאדמה,
מכל מה שקרה.
מה שקרה.
הרי מה קרה? כל דור המבול, אלוהים ישמור. נכון? אחר כך בדור הפלגה. So let's continue. It says that Chumash Devarim is really Mishneh Torah. Why Mishneh Torah? The Gaon from Vilna says 3 parts to this book. בחלקים הפסוקים הראשונים מוזכר דיבורו של משה 3 פעמים. The Gaon from Vilna, it says that really the book has 3 parts. 3 חלקים לפי 3 הפסוקים הראשונים, according to the 3 verses. פעם אחת אלה הדברים אשר דיבר משה. These are the words, this is the rebuke, תוכחה, right? That's the first one. The second one is דיבר משה אל בני ישראל, ככל אשר ציווה אדוני את משה. This is the second part. It's called חזרה על המצוות, repetition of all the mitzvot. You know, the book of Devarim, if you look, has everything in it, the 10 commandments, all the mitzvot, everything that happened. הכל בספר דברים. כן? והפעם השלישית, הועיל משה באר את התורה הזאת. He says, הועיל משה באר את התורה. He says, really all the brachot and the klalot. You know, the book of Devarim has what we call 100, there is 98 curses in Parashat Kitavo and 49 curses in Parashat Chukat. Right? Together, 157 curses. Why? Hashem says, be careful, there's good and bad. If you don't do, this is the curses. Hashem doesn't like to hurt the people of Israel.
I learned why it's double in the other.
Huh?
It was a beautiful explanation. Then before Matan Torah, he was giving the 49 courses and the 98, which is double.
Mm-hmm.
But says then the 98 come for you not caring about other Jews.
That's right.
For ignoring them.
We are really Arevim Zelazeh, right? Today is ערבים. It's ערבים זה לא. He says משה רבנו, הואיל משה באר את התורה, he translated to 70 languages.
Right?
70 העמים שילמדו תורה. So we know it says that Sefer Devarim has 955 verses in it. If you take the whole book of Devarim, 955 verses, yes. 955 verses. Okay? It says, what's 955? Keneged esh, ruach, mayim, ve'afar. You know, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu created mankind, the four elements of esh, fire, ruach, right, the spirit, mayim, water, and afar, 955. Yes. You know, you heard earth, wind, you know, there's a band called Earth, Wind, and Fire, right? You know why they didn't last? Because they forgot one element. No. But it says, what's also 955 is the angel in charge of the people of Israel. Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, Nuriel. 955. It says in Sefer Chalot, you know, Sefer Chalot is a book that written by Chanoch. You heard Chanoch?
Of course. He is
Chanoch.
Kabbalah.
Is Matatron, is the angel. Hashem took him out of this world. Matat. Hashem took him out after he was 365 years old. He was the biggest tzaddik after Adam, and he was about to sin. Hashem took him out.
He's the only one that didn't die.
He didn't die.
Even Elijah is the only two that didn't die.
10 did not die. 10 לא מתו. אחד מהם, כן.
But that's
Matatron,
the angel closest to
he's the
Hashem,
Sarapnim.
to
You
the
know,
Kisei HaKavod.
yes, so he's the minister of interior for the heavens. He says, the Gemara, the Sefer Chalot, קוראים לו שר הפנים, שר הפנים, ברקיע משמש מורה דרך לאלה שזכו להגיע לכל התעלות שמיימית. He received people in heaven. He has keys to 950 gates of heaven. 955. There's 955 gates to heaven. He has keys to 900 of them. 55 of them.
So human is the highest angel now.
Yes,
Of
Human.
course.
so you know, human are better than angels.
Right.
Angel has one task, נכון? מלאכים יש להם רק דבר אחד.
Robotic.
רובוט, נכון? Mankind can be better.
Is Eliyahu considered an angel? now?
So he's not an angel. No, he's a human
He's
that
human.
can live in both worlds.
Right.
נכון? אליהו הנביא, לדוגמה,
הוא לא מלאך?
הוא לא מלאך.
הוא נביא.
הוא נביא.
הוא נביא האחרון שנשאר,
The only
חי.
one who became an angel is Hanoch. That's it.
חנוך is the only one.
Out of the 10.
Out
who
of
went
the,
without
no,
angel.
Hanoch is the 11th. He's not considered part of the 10. The 10 that went to heaven with their bodies is not part of them.
So who is the 10? I mean, is there like a-
There are a lot of goyim.
I'll tell you.
Eliezer, the servant of Abraham.
No, yes, so there's not a
Batia.
lot. There is actually one. Eliezer, because he lived with Abraham.
No, but also Batia. Oh,
No, but
Batia was
Batia
also
converted. Yeah, Batia.
Right,
What's
Batia.
Batia? Batya, the daughter of
My
Moshe.
daughter.
And she saved Moshe where? In the Teva. Teva, Batia is the same letters.
Yeah.
Measure for measure,
Oh,
right?
yeah. תיבה בתיה.
כן, בתיה, השם שלה במקור לא היה בתיה. 10 צדיקים שנכנסו לגן עדן בחייהם, maybe I have it here. I have
Who
it,
is
but,
Eliyahu
You have
Hanavi.
it in
Yeah.
the book. I read
yeah, I have it, but it's in the other book. But basically,
Eliyahu Hanavi, so I know.
those are the 10
אז
that
מישהו
include
מוכר?
Batya, include Serach, the daughter of
Sarah,
Asher,
the daughter of Asher.
Eliyahu Navi, Yeshua Levi,
מה זה בפרעה, לא?
Batya Bat Paro, but she became Hebrew.
למה סרח? What did she do that she
Serach,
did
she actually revealed to Yaakov that Yosef Chai. And Yaakov says, may you never die.
Yes.
And she never died.
For giving the good news.
רגע, זה הסבא של אברהם אבינו או
תרח זה אבא של אברהם אבינו.
אבא של
כן,
אברהם אבינו?
כן, נכון, כן. טוב, בוא נמשיך הלאה ואחר כך נגיע לזה. Okay, so בעזרת השם, it says that, you know, we read this before, as we said before, 955 verses. He said, Matatron, יש לו 70 שמות. He has 70 names to Hanoch. כנגד the 70 names of Hashem. Right? Hashem, there's 70 names, but there's the Zohar says, if you take the whole Torah from Bereshit to Israel, right, all the Torah of the 5 books has 304,805 letters. This is the name of Hashem.
The whole
Torah is the name of Hashem. תאר לך, 300 is 304,000 letters, 805 אותיות בתורה, זה שם השם.
וואו, זה שם ארוך.
This
זה long,
big name.
long name.
You know, המילה דברים היא במדבר. You know, the word דברים It's Bamidbar, right? They're now 40 years in the desert. They learn all the Devarim they need to come to the land of Israel. You know, in Parashat Kitisa, Moshe is in Mount Sinai. He says, "Vaydaber Adonai Moshe, lech red ki amcha shichat." Right? He says, because the people you took out of Egypt, they are making the golden calf, not my people, not Am Israel, amcha. Nachon? And he says, "Yarad le'anu yarad leMoav." He came down to Moab. Moab in Gematria 49, against the 49 gates of Tumah. And there is 49 gates of Tahara. When Moshe will pass, he will go to Har Nevo, right? Nun Bo. He will come back to the 50 gates of Torah. Of course, he says, Moshe Rabbeinu, he says that he is standing now by Midbar Ba'arava. We said all the places. And Moshe says, Eicha, how can I do this alone? He actually now tell the people of Israel, because of you, I'm not coming in. בגלל הבעיות שהיו לי, אתם עשיתם לי ככה, אני עשיתי ככה, אתם עשיתם ככה. איכה, you know, the first time the word איכה was used, do you know where? איפה פעם ראשונה כתוב בתורה איכה?
יש אייכה, שהשם שאל.
זה הפעם הראשונה, אייכה. אייכה, השם says to אדם הראשון, אייכה, where are you holding? אדם. Adam, one after he ate from the tree of knowledge. He says, אייכה, where are you holding? Ayeka is Elohim Yodea Kol Hanistarot. You don't have to hide from Hashem. I know everything. When Hashem says, "Where are you?" Ayeka is give him a chance to do tshuva.
Like to tell the
like
truth.
when somebody comes and said, "Slachli, there is a chance for you to do tshuva." I say, "I'm sorry, slicha." If Adam says, "I'm sorry," that's it. We'll never leave heaven. What Adam says, it's your fault, Hashem. You gave me this woman. Chutzpah. Right? הוא מאשים את הקדוש ברוך הוא.
The first person blaming others.
Yeah, that's right. It says, Moshe, Echa esa levadi tarchechem umasarchem verivchem. He said, how can I carry all your problems? Me, I have to do it alone because of you.
מי ידבר מאלוהים אחרון מכל העולם?
משה רבנו.
לא, יש נביאים שדיברו איתו גם.
נביאים זה רוח הקודש, השם לא דיבר איתם ישירות, רק משה. Nevi'im, all the prophets that we have, 48 prophets male and 7 female, Hashem spoke to them in a dream. Moshe face to face. The only one that Hashem spoke both in a dream and physically through a tree, Alon Mamre. Hashem spoke to Abraham, Be'elone Mamre. You know, Alon is the trees that give fruit no matter how old it is. There is one tree in Shlomi, in Israel, is the oldest olive tree in the world. 4,000 שנה. אחרי המבול, עד היום הוא עומד שם.
אלון זה הצנובר, נכון?
אלון זה oak tree. The oak tree gives fruit no matter how old it is.
סליחה, כמה אנשים דיברו מאלוהים בכל העולם?
רק משה רבנו ובלעם.
אדם הראשון?
אדם הראשון השם דיבר אליו, או לפני החטא. אחרי החטא כבר הוא לא דיבר אליו.
לפני החטא לא נחשב.
כן.
מאחרי החטא משה רבנו עבר גם דיבר.
דרך נבואות. הקדוש ברוך הוא דיבר עם כולם, גם עם אדם, גם עם נוח. משה רבנו פנים אל פנים.
אבל אליהו לא דיבר עם השם שאומר...
בנבואות, הכל בנבואות. הכל בנבואות. השם says, פנים אל פנים אדבר בו. I spoke face to face. נכון? ישעיהו is הפטרת דברים.
הזכות הכי גדולה בעולם יש למשה רבנו.
כן,
בטח.
מה זה המשיח? You heard the word המשיח? קצת, נכון?
משיח.
המשיח is the words משה חי. לא קם with the משיח. חם מדי פה, מה העניינים? אתה יודע?
לא, בסדר.
טוב. ישעיהו, הפטרת דברים. ישעיהו, he says, איכה הייתה לזונה קריה נאמנה. Yeshaya says, what happened to us? How do we became, קריה נאמנה became a whore. אלוהים ישמור. ירמיהו says, איכה ישבה בדד העיר. It all speaks of destruction of the temple. איכה, גימטריה 36. אלה הדברים. Because of the bad things, you come through איכה. What do we say איכה? תשעה באב, right? קינות. We say איכה. איכה, by the way, is also... איכה is ראשי תיבות, is an acronym. אני, ירמיהו, כתבתי הקינה. איכה. איכה is an acronym, אני ירמיהו כהן הענתות. Every time there's a word in the Torah, there's a secret in it. אין מילה שאין לה סוד, אין כזה דבר. כתוב 70 פנים לתורה. There's 70 facets to every letter of the Torah, and we have the pardes, right? We have the 4 levels: pshat, sod, remez, and drash. Pardes, also Sfarad. You know, the letter of Sfarad.
Isn't that why they call us Faradim? Because they learn.
Yes, because we learn all the 4 levels. You take today, I teach sometimes, have the merit to teach in a few kollels. Kollel is avrachim the yeshivot. There is zero knowledge of the Torah. You ask them psukim, they're wrong. The Gemara, spets, alufim, champion. But the Torah is like so unknown.
Especially Nevim.
Nevi'im, yeah, אחרית הימים. I mean, אחרית הימים.
Why is that?
דברי הימים. Because they focus on the Gemara.
Really?
Yes.
אחרית הימים, הקדוש ברוך הוא אמר את זה רק לדניאל, נכון?
כן, האמת, אחרית הימים זה גם נאמר בספר בראשית גם כן.
כן, אבל לדניאל הוא הסביר לו מתי בדיוק יבוא משיח.
כן, יעקב רצה להגיד להם את סוד אחרית הימים, ונבלע ממנו. יעקב רצה להגיד לילדים שלו שהוא עומד למות.
הוא פתאום שכח.
ושכח. יצא לו. אז אמרנו, איכה, זה גם כן, איכה ישבה בדד, as we said, ירמיהו, ישבה, יחרבו שני ביתי מקדש. This is the word ישבה. יחרבו שני ביתי המקדש. ישבה, יחרב שלמה בית המקדש. המקדש של שלמה המלך יחרב. בדד, 4 things. Because of 4 things, בית, דלת. בדלת, בדד. בדלת. בדלת, גילוי עריות, שפיכות דמים, עבודה זרה, שנאת חינם. Why the temple destroyed? Of adultery, idolatry, murder, and לשון הרע, שנאת חינם.
The first one or the second one?
Both.
Okay.
Both. You know, they say that the first one was because of the first 3 things, right?
Right.
Hashem, the first one had some לשון הרע, but it was אבק לשון הרע, dust. בית המקדש הראשון נחרב על 3 דברים. what we call גילוי עריות, נכון? and עבודה זרה, and חס וחלילה שפיכות דמים, murder, okay? Hashem was willing to forgive those 3 and build a second temple 7 years later. Imagine, the first temple destroyed, 410 שנה, right? King Solomon, first temple, 410 years destroyed. We go to Galut Bavel, 52 years. Galut Paras and Madai, 18 years, 7 years. Esther sends her grandson and son Koresh, right, to build Bet HaMikdash. I mean, Koresh sent the people, Daniel, he sent back more, Mordechai, Ezra, Sofer, they all come to build Bet HaMikdash השני.
בית שני נחרב בגלל שנאת חינם.
בית השני נחרב בגלל שנאת חינם. אבל, that's right.
Did you hear the Hatam Sofer opinion? Why one was 70 years and one got destroyed?
Yes,
permanent?
yes.
I believe the opinion is then in the first destruction, you could identify a Rasha and a Sadiq.
Yeah.
But in the second temple, you didn't know. You might say somebody with a capota or with a big hat and a big beard and big tits is thinking, wow, it's a Sadiq.
Yeah.
But he's not a Sadiq. So because he's concealed
Yeah.
the evil of the people, he concealed also.
That's exactly that.
That's what says that. That's a
You know,
crazy
today
image.
in Israel, for an example, and in America, there is groups of Christians that looks like rabbis and go teach Christianity in Jerusalem, in Tel
No,
Aviv.
but that's nothing. That's a
It's
vision.
nothing. What do you mean nothing? It's horrific.
But that's nothing to do with the Jewish people.
They go to Jews. No, they teach Jewish people.
They're confusing.
They're confused. They look like rabbi. They speak Hebrew.
No,
So
but
they child molested?
they teach the Bible.
They teach
They
Torah,
stole a
everything.
guy from Texas.
But they
He
teach
was
the
like a
new.
cowboy.
כן.
And he has like
In
a
Galut
Chabad picture
Babel-
of the Rebbe and everything.
כן.
גלות
looks
בבל,
Hasidic.
כל היהודים הלכו לבבל.
And he raped a
אז
lot of
לפי
children.
ההיגיון כל היהודים היו שם
לא,
עיראקים.
But he's a
אז איך
Texan
נוצרו
boy.
ימנים,
אז-
תימנים, מרוקאים?
אז כל פעם, אחר כך הייתה עוד גלות, הלכו ברחו לכל
אבל
דבר.
לא,
הם
השאלה
היו,
הייתה גלות אחרת או שהבבלים הלכו למרוקו, לספרד?
הלכו לכל מיני מקומות. מרביתם הלכו לבבל. היו הרבה שירדו למצרים, היו הרבה שהלכו לאירופה.
אבל יש סיכוי שרוב היהודים בעצם הם
spell the last name Cohen.
בבלים לשעבר שהיגרו לכל
נכון.
העולם.
גם בבבל הם היגרו,
נכון.
נכון, לא מארץ ישראל.
You know, we come now to
בבבל הלכו אלה
I think it
שיש
was
להם
Latino, no?
יש להם כסף.
What was
אלה
it?
שלא להם כסף נשארו בארץ.
Texas.
okay, let's continue.
No,
Shabbat
That's
Chazon
not
is
the one
coming,
I saw,
right?
I think. But I saw it was Eddie said.
Shabbat Chazon, you heard of Shabbat Chazon?
Yeah, division.
Shabbat Chazon is right before Tisha B'Av. It's called, why Chazon? Chazon, as we know, is really, you know, Chazon in Hebrew means prophecy. נכון? Chazon is also Rashi Tevot, Chatzi Za'am v'Chatzi Nechama. You know, Chazon, in Tisha, in the month of Av, we have half good, half bad.
Right.
נכון? Tu B'Av is a holiday, right? Tu B'Av is when the people stop dying. From the generation, you know, every Tu B'Av, they will go from Tisha B'Av, every Tisha B'Av, they will open graves. Everybody go sleep in the grave at night in Tisha B'Av. Whoever doesn't wake up in the morning, they cover him. כולם ישנים בקברים. תשעה באב. מי שמת, מכסים אותו, מי שלא
למה
מת.
אבל שהם בדברים?
חטא בגלל החטא המרגלים. הם ימותו כולם, כתוב. אז בכל תשעה באב היו עושים קברים, הולכים, ישנים בקבר, כל עם ישראל, כל מי שהיה מבין 20 שנה ומעלה. בבוקר לא מתעוררים,
וואו,
מכסים
משוגע.
אותם. בבוקר, in the morning, whoever died, they cover that. Then the 40th year is the last Tisha B'Av, and 15,000 did not die. So they went every night from Tisha B'Av to Tu B'Av. שבוע.
אפשר לשאול שאלה?
כן,
הקדוש ברוך הוא יודע הכל, נכון?
כמובן.
למה הוא בחר דווקא את העם היהודי שהם דווקא חטאים?
כי זה העם הכי טוב שיש, והכי רע שיש.
לא, זה גם העם שהסכים.
לא,
אלוהים
תראה,
הלך לגויים,
כן,
אמר
הקדוש
לו
ברוך הוא
לא.
הלך לכל הגויים.
תראה, הם כולם מורדים באלוהים.
זה עם
לא,
קשה,
יש,
אנחנו עם קשה.
תראה עכשיו מה שנעשה בארץ, זה לא מרד באלוהים?
בארץ זה מטורף.
כן.
מה שקורה.
הקדוש ברוך הוא הלך לכל העמים.
אבל
הוא
אולי
אומר בתורה,
אני יודע,
אולי
אבל
אלוהים
אני
גורם
אומר,
לזה.
למה, איך זה בחר אותם, והם תראה, הם מורדים בו.
נכון.
אולי אלוהים גורם
שומר
לזה.
ובורא.
גורם
לא,
לזה
לא, לא, לא,
להביא
לא,
את
לא,
המשיח. לא?
אלוהים נותן לך choice. אתה יכול לבחור. דבר אחד הוא לא לקח, את הבחירה. אתה יכול לבחור מה שאתה רוצה. אתה רוצה להיות רשע, אתה יכול להיות הרשע הכי טוב.
אבל
חס
לא יכול
וחלילה.
להיות שהמצב בארץ ככה בשביל לתת לנו את המשיח.
המצב,
סיבה להביא את
כן,
המשיח.
כן, המצב בארץ היום זה כנגד ביאת משיח.
כן.
You know, the land of Israel, you know, many people don't know, you're not allowed to go to הר הבית. אסור ללכת למעלה. אסור, זה הלכה.
Why?
כי אנחנו לא יודעים, שם היה בית המקדש, שאנחנו טמאי מת. כל עם ישראל is impure, you're not allowed to go to הר הבית.
Even if you go and do mikveh,
You can 100 mikvahs, you're still impure. For the הר הבית, you're impure.
What is Harabait?
הר הבית is the Temple Mount.
where the temple was.
Back in the days before it was destroyed, you know, the Shekhinah reside there. Kodesh HaKodashim, you know, the Aaron and the Kohanim.
אבל זה לא מה שנתורה קרתא אומרים.
The Torah Karta, they go against Judaism and Israel and the Torah. They look like Hasidim, right?
But
they
they
sit
say
with
that they were
Iran.
not pure because the
No, everywhere, Rabbi.
No,
All the
Karta-
Sephardim rabbi will tell you you're not allowed to go to Har Habayit. Better, asur. Like for an example, you see today tours. This is not good. Huh?
מאיזה בחינה, אסור.
אנחנו טמאי אמת, כי שם זה מקום קדושים, אנחנו לא אסור.
אבל עכשיו יש שם ערבים, יש שם.
בסדר, הערבים אין להם טומאה. זה לא קשור. הערבים שם בגלל שאנחנו לא טובים. זה מה שיוסי אומר. Yossi says something very smart. He says, everything happened in Israel now is for us to be better, to bring Mashiach. At the end, אין עוד מלבדו, right? There's nobody but Hashem. Today, with all the technology we have and this and that, we cannot even fight in Israel, right? Today, look, most Israelis are afraid to go out in the street, right? You go at night in Yerushalayim. Do you know how many people walk at night in Yerushalayim? Zero.
We're afraid
Now
of
there
the
is,
Jews.
yesterday they started a new thing, a bus that take you to the kotel to pray at night, right? But at night time, the Arabs rules Israel. You know what they do in Israel today, the Arabs. There is, well, you know, they pretty much, you know, threaten every business. If you don't pay, they burn so many places in Israel. They steal every day in Yerushalayim 50 cars.
Wow.
Every day 50 cars stolen just in Yerushalayim. Kol Laila. 50 cars. Imagine this. Do 365 times 50. That's how many cars they steal in Israel just in Jerusalem.
That's so sad.
Yeah, of course, but that's what he said, that they will rule until Mashiach come. You know why Arabs are allowed to be in Israel? Because Abraham did Brit Milah to Ishmael.
Oh yeah.
The Gemara says because of the Brit of Ishmael, יש להם אחיזה בארץ, until משיח. עד שיבוא משיח,
So they got like
יש לכם אחיזה, נכון?
הקדוש ברוך הוא יגרש אותם, או
כן, כתוב,
ישלח אותם לסעודיה.
ביום ההוא יהיה השם אחד ושמו אחד.
נכון,
אבל
אבל מה יהיה עם העמים?
לא יהיו שום ערבים בארץ.
רבי
לא יהיו שום גויים.
אני שמעתי על איזה תיאורי,
כן.
שבגלל שישמעאל עשה ברית מילה בגיל 13, אז 100,
וגם חזר
כנגד
בתשובה.
100 וגם חזר בתשובה,
חוזר בתשובה?
כן,
אז
בסוף חזר בתשובה.
הישמעאלים,
מה זה ישמעאל?
למה-
ישמעאל. כן.
רגע,
הישמעאלים
למה-
מקבלים
רגע,
פי 100, בונוס פי 100,
כן.
ואז האסלאם יישאר 1,300 שנה, בגלל ה-13 שנים של ישמעאל.
נכון,
יש בזה
יש משהו, נכון. יש אומרים שבאמת, בגלל שרה הייתה, קיללה את הגר, הביאה עלה מכה, שרה היא שר השם, היא קיללה את הגר, וגרמה לה כזה צער, שבגלל זה הערבים יהיו בארץ. מה שהוא עשה, ישמעאל בסוף, you know, when they came to bury Abraham, the Torah says, יבוא יצחק and ישמעאל.
וקברו אותו ביחד.
It should be the opposite. Ishmael first, then Yitzchak. Ishmael was born 13 years before Yitzchak. Right? Abraham was 86. He was 86 when he gave birth to Ishmael with Hagar. Hagar in Gematria, Yitzchak, 208. Sarah says, אני אתן את Hagar, measure for measure, she received Yitzchak. למען בנה ממנה, right? So we create, you know, I'll have a son because of what I did. And that's exactly what happened. She gave Hagar 208, Yitzchak 208. נכון? It says,
Also,
Okay,
Ishmael have a lot
Saka.
of kibud aven. That was a big mitzvah. He
Yeah,
really
yeah.
honored his father a lot.
same with
Ishmael.
Esav. Esav honored his father Yitzchak more than Yaakov. The Gemara says, Rabbi Yochanan says, I wish I was like Esav in Kibud Avayim.
עשיו קיבל את אברהם את מיעקב.
היה גם איזה
That's why
פסוק,
it's so powerful.
היה גם פסוק שכתוב, אני חושב, משהו כמו, כי אהבו אביו. זאת אומרת, יצחק אהב את עשיו.
כן, כתוב שיצחק אהב את עשיו, ורבקה אהבה את יעקב,
כן.
right? What's the first love in the Torah?
The first one?
Love,
Love.
אהבה. The first אהבה in the
רבקה.
Torah.
Rivka and
יצחק. ויאהב יצחק את רבקה.
רבקה, נכון.
למה? Why יצחק? This is the first one that has love in the Torah. Because she came from the house of Lavan and she was more tzaddiket than him. He said on her, he says that on her, במקום שבא התשובה עומד, צדיקים גמורים אינם יכולים לעמוד. It was on her.
רגע, אז רבקה באה בבית של
He said
לבן.
it on her?
כן.
זה-
You know, Avraham Avinu said to Eliezer, go find a good shidduch. Where? In the house of Lavan. Lavan is the worst family in the world. Lavan, you know, imagine,
Because
is
of the Elilim,
Naval,
no?
rapists, thieves
Russia
of the
Kampur
Elilim.
אז רמאי גם.
Even
הוא היה-
it was a big magic. Kosem, Esav was afraid of Lavan. But he says, go get the daughter from there. Why? Hashem hides the best neshamot in the goyim,
yes.
right? Ruth came from who? Moab. From Lot and his daughters. You know, Naama came from who?
רגע, רות
From,
באה from the daughters of Lot,
כן.
אז הם
מואב
התחילו
ועמון.
ממזרות, הם היו...
כן.
And that's where comes Mashiach.
But it says the chutzpah. What's
Very
Moab?
familiar.
You know the word Moab, Me'av, from my father.
From my
The
father.
chutzpah. The other one says Ammon, you know, is my nation.
My father got me pregnant.
Yes.
That's what she said.
But what's Moab? Mimena ba. It come from her. She saw in Ruach HaKodesh that Mashiach will come from her.
King David is from Ruth.
Yes.
רות המואביה.
נכון.
And so Har explains, right?
You know,
And
when,
why he allows such
when
things.
Balak says Rav, you know, what's Rav? He says, what's Rav? He says, Ra, Ruth and Boaz. He says, from me, he's from Moab. He was Melech Moab, right?
רגע, אם רבקה הייתה בת של לבן,
כן.
איך זה יכול להיות? אז היא קרובה של רחל. כי
כן.
רחל גם הבת של לבן.
לא, היא דודה שלה. לבן ורבקה, אחים ואחות, נכון? לבן and Rivka were brother and sister, right?
כן, אז היא דודה שלה.
In the old days, before Matan Torah, if let's say I have a sister, my sister has 2 kids, 2 girls, I have 2 boys, we do shiduchim, that's it, you marry.
Cousins.
Esav to Leah,
Cousin.
Yaakov to Rachel. That was the shidduch.
Right.
But Leah heard about Esav, she was crying, I don't want to marry him, I don't want to, she was so, chaz v'chalila, she said, Vayu einea rakot, she would cry so much, she had no more risim, the hair is gone.
Dan, before we continue,
כן.
אמרת שישמעאל חזר בתשובה.
בסוף, כן.
אז הוא נהיה יהודי או...
הוא כי עשה כיבוד לתורה וכיבוד להשם וכיבוד
אז למה
ליצחק.
הערבים נחשבים מוסלמים ולא יהודים?
יפה. ערבים, what's ויהי ערב ויהי בוקר.
כן, אבל מוסלמים בוא נגיד.
כן.
למה מוסלמים?
יש הבדל בין הערבים למוסלמים.
הם השתנו.
יש מוחמד לדוגמה. מוחמד,
Muhammad
just so you know, Muhammad had 2 Jewish wives.
Muhammad?
Yes. That he actually raped. כן. Muhammad had 2 Jewish wives. 2 Arabs and 2 wives, and he had 4. The Quran had 4 versions, 1 for each wife. And he in the Quran says to respect the Jews. He said, he called us the people of the book, Am HaSefer. He says they received Torah in Mount Sinai. We did not. If you have any question in Torah, go ask them. They knew Islam 300, 400 years later of killing and so. That's not the Quran.
They're saying we're monkeys.
Yes, the Quran today is not what it, that's why there's thousands of versions.
לא הפירוש כמו שהם מפרשים.
כן, המפרשים. ישמעאל בסוף, מה זה ישמעאל? ישמעאל. He would listen to God. That's why there'll be a lot of good Arabs that would remain in Olam Haba. There'll be Arabs.
Of course.
ויהי
More than
ערב,
Christians.
ויהי ערב, ויהי בוקר. Even there will be darkness, there is always a light. נכון? בהתחלה הייתה ישמעאל, קם יצחק. נכון? רבקה, without רבקה, there'll be no Judaism. That's why יצחק, בעלת תשובה יותר טובה ממני. I was the son of Abraham. Okay, big deal.
And
She came from the house of Lavan,
Tzaddik.
right?
Right.
Imagine that. That's why when he was praying for her to get pregnant, they were 25 years barren. היו עקרים. כתוב, ויתפלל יצחק לנוכח אשתו. You remember that? ויתפלל יצחק לנוכח אשתו. What's נוכח?
מול, נגד אשתו.
Yeah, but נוכח is not acronym. נשמת כל חי.
Oh.
He said when we pray on Shabbat, נשמת כל חי, you see Yitzchak and Rivka there, right? In Shabbat, you see? Because of Yitzchak that pray for her, he said she's better than me. He said to Hashem, נשמת כל חי, every neshama of Jews because of her.
Praise you.
Because of her. Because of Rivka.
So that means the biggest tzaddikim in the world came from not
Goyim.
being Jewish.
Yes.
Rabbi Akiva,
רבי עקיבא,
רבקה.
רבי מאיר בעל הנס,
כן, אבל
שמעיה
הם
נפתליון,
עשו
אונקלוס.
אונקלוס.
הם עשו קומבושן.
כי הם בעל תשובה.
אונקלוס
בגלל זה הם
נכון.
צדיקים,
יש
הם
להם
בעלי
זכות.
תשובה.
חגי,
יש לנו זכות
נביא.
יותר גדולה
כן,
מאיתנו.
בעל תשובה יש לו זכות יותר, כן.
Yes,
יותר
you know,
גדולה מאיתנו.
of course, Obadiah also,
או,
you know,
Which Obadiah?
the prophet. Is a
Oh,
kind of-
Obadiah, yeah.
yes.
He said,
Rabbi Akiva.
He's a convert.
You know who was the parents, I mean the grandparents of Rabbi Akiva? Yael and Sisra.
עובדיה בזמן של אחאב, המלך אחאב.
So Jael,
עובדיה קצת אחרי.
so Jael really got pregnant from Sisra?
Yes. Yael saw in
Because
Ruach
Jael is a
HaKodesh.
tzaddikas.
That's why I said Tevorach Yael minashim. She's blessed from all women. Yael saw in Ruach HaKodesh is Rabbi Akiva.
That's why my
I
father...
thought she didn't sleep and just have time to kill them.
No, you know, he said that he raped her 7 times.
Oh,
Sisra et Yael. Keneged 7 tzaddikim.
before she got
7
killed.
before she killed him.
She gave him milk to sleep.
You know, they say Yael saw in Ruach HaKodesh Rabbi Akiva. She saw all the 7 tzaddikim that come from him.
Wow.
7 tzaddikim.
That's why my father called my sister Yael. He said, Tevorach
Tevorach Yael minashim. אחי, she blessed from all women.
אז עכשיו כל זה מעשה ידיו,
הכל מעשה ידיו. כי אנחנו,
זה התוכנית שלו.
כתוב, אין כוחי
But
ועוצם
also
ידי.
from Ahasuerus came tzaddikim,
Of course, אחשוורוש can Koresh sent to build the בית המקדש.
right?
אחשוורוש and Esther had a baby. Esther was...
חברו של אסתר.
בטח.
Yes,
ירדן,
yes.
עכשיו עד עכשיו אנחנו חיים
That's
את
the one who
התוכנית שלו,
built
נכון?
second
ושלנו.
רבות מחשבות ברביעי,
והצד?
התוכנית
רגע,
שלו.
הבן של אחשוורוש ואסתר זה כורש?
כן.
זה הבן שלהם?
כן.
But Judith did not sleep with the guy. She really killed him before.
Yes, it's exactly. You know, Yehudit, because Yehudit, we have all the miracle of Hanukkah. Without Yehudit, there'll be no Maccabim.
Which you did it?
Yehudit, the miracle of Hanukkah, right? The Hanukkah, we always talk about the big, Kohanim that went to fight, right? The Maccabim. They had one sister named Yehudit, most beautiful widow, Almana Yefeifia. Come, Hulpernus. Hulpernus was the governor of Yerushalayim and the Shomron, and he loved her. He was crazy about her. And he said, if you don't come with me, I will kill everybody. So she said, listen, I will come with you, but I have a rule. We are the Jewish people. I have to go to the mikveh at night. I have to bring my assistant, the Balanit. Promise me two things. Once, that nobody of your soldiers talks to me when I come to your tent to be with you that night. And I have to go to the mikveh. Nobody bother us when we go, come and leave. Nobody bother us. He agrees. He was so in love with her. Yehudit come, gave him a lot of wine and this cheese. He fell asleep, took the sword, cut his head off, put it in the bag, says, I'm going to the mikveh with her assistant, came to Yehuda, say, here, the head of Hulpernus. In the old days, if you have the head of the king, you put it on a stick, then everybody sees, and that's it, you're done. You don't have to fight. Because of Yehudit, there is the whole miracle. Before the Maccabim went to fight, it was their sister that won the war. כן, יהודית.
איזה כוח יש לאישה
יותר
כשאוהבים
מגברים.
אותה. כשאוהבים אותה.
נכון. You know, it's very, the Zohar says, if you want to be a king, make your wife a queen. The Gemara says, there's one guy came to his rabbi and says, I want to get a divorce. So the rabbi said to him, no problem, just go ahead and take 2 goats and a donkey for 30 days in your house. 30 יום תשים עזים וחמור בבית. So, wow, he said, yeah, before you get divorced, we have to do this. The guy was crazy for 30 days. The rabbi says, now take out the goat and that. The guy says, wow, it's amazing, it's so nice and clean here, everything is good. I don't want to get a divorce. There's rabbi in ירושלים, אברך שלו גם כן, סליחה, כן?
שלום בית, זה, תיקח את זה וזה בשביל לעשות שלום בית.
In ירושלים, there's one rabbi, is a kollel rabbi. His avrach says, I want a divorce. He said, why? My wife is crazy. He says, listen, come to my house Friday. He said, why? He says, the house is so dirty and this, and my food, it doesn't taste good. He said, okay, come to my house Friday and then we'll talk about it. He comes Friday, he sees the rabbi without shoes and his pants up, cleaning the floors of the house. Is this the rabbi? My kollel clean the floors. What am I complaining? Right? It says that Moshe Rabbeinu, the way he gave rebuke, that's a chaz v'chalila. If you have a problem at home, it's not your wife, it's you. The wife, guaranteed by Torah, ve'el ishech teshukatech ve'im sholbach. You know, one of the curses Chava got, that the man will rule you and you still want him. You know, if you're a strong man and respect your wife, she would love you forever. Whatever she doesn't do is because you don't do to her. Isha, it's considered beito. The Gemara says, who is his wife? His home. If you want your home to be happy, that means you have to treat your wife happy. Whatever she is, your wife is your half neshama.
There's an expression.
It's a reflection.
To marry an American woman and then speak about it.
There's an expression in English, happy wife, good life.
That's right. You know, I said the joke before. Shmuel has a good joke. Once,
I need it.
you know, this is for you, Kevin. Shmuel has a good joke. Once, a Sephardi guy, you know, prays in shul. All of a sudden, Malach HaMavet comes. The angel of death comes. Everybody runs. Still on the bima, everybody, this Moroccan guy is praying Sephardic, praying. Malach HaMavet, what are you still doing here? You know who I am? He says, yes. You're not afraid? He says, no. He says, why? He says, I'm married to your sister. But really, in all reality, it says that you really, if you want a happy life, make sure your wife is happy. Whatever you do to her, she'll do tenfold to you. Guaranteed. Because the neshama,
And also, if it's a bad thing, you do it.
yes, they say, you know, the neshama that comes to you, There is an angel named Chashmal. The Gemara says, Chashmal,
The electron.
Gal, electrician. There's a Chashmal. Before the Neshamot come to the world, this angel goes to each half of Neshama, says, this is your other half. And this is your other half. When you go down, find them. This is why we only, when you're not married, you're half Neshama. When you marry, you're one, right? Echad. Right?
עכשיו אני שואל שאלה.
כן.
יש איש ואישה שהם בהם בכוחים?
בטח.
מי?
אני ואשתי.
אני לא מאמין.
27 שנים, אף פעם לא רבנו.
לא, ריב משהו אחר, ויכוח משהו אחר.
לא, אפשר
מריבה
להתווכח.
זה משהו אחר.
להתווכח זה דעות ולכבד, נכון?
כן,
אפשר
אני יודע,
להתווכח, אבל לא צריך לריב. You know, in Hebrew, riv is a male form. Riv is one time. Female meriva, it produces a lot more.
Right.
Don't fight with your wife. Like Shmuel says, you'll be tenfold. A wife doesn't need anything but love and respect. That's it. If you love them, respect them.
Even if she's gone, you have to love her.
Yeah, you know, there's a mitzvah to get divorced.
Uh-huh.
If you have a wife that doesn't want to keep Hashem and Torah and this, you're allowed to divorce her. It's a mitzvah.
It's a mitzvah, even if she doesn't get to have sex with you, you can also get married.
All right, let's continue.
I'm not joking.
No, okay.
Do you know
Not
the
joking.
do you know the joke
That's
of
true.
the guy who went to
If
the
somebody
rabbi,
goes
right?
to the rabbi and
Yeah.
says that my wife doesn't want to sleep with
There
me,
is a guy that
the
says to the
rabbi gives
rabbi,
him divorce.
he said, I hate my wife.
כי זה מצווה בתורה, כתוב
And the
מצווה.
rabbi said, listen to me. I allow you the divorce. Just be intimate with her every day, except when it's forbidden.
Yeah.
And you will see after the last day, she's going to die. She's going to pass away. And the guy was already in a wheelchair because he worked so much devoting his strength to his wife. And she's in the last day and she's cleaning, dancing. And the guy said, thank God tomorrow she's dying.
You know, it's a very, very, usually, whenever you have bayot of shlom bayit,
Es de segula for Parnasa, for
it's
everything.
there's why Abraham Avinu, Hashem rebuked him and said to him, כל אשר תאמר לך שרה, מוסר, העמיד אותו במקום. העמיד אותו במקום, ולא אתה טועה. אומר לו, כל אשר תאמר לך שרה, שמע בקולה. What do you mean שמע בקולה? Listen to her voice, נכון? Says the Baal HaTurim, what's שמע? שמע בקולה, he says, שמע is the years she'll die. She's going to be 720, שמע. She will die 127.
Wow.
Give her the love she needs. Because of her, you have everything. Without her, you'll have nothing. You know,
she died 127?
127, Shema. They said when we say Shema Israel, we honor Sarah because Sarah was so holy, holier than Abraham. Yes. When they went to Egypt, Abraham says, tell them you're my sister. Right? What wife would say, what, are you crazy? I'm not your sister, I'm your wife.
She didn't want
She
to
was
lie.
quiet, right? She didn't say a word.
Afraid.
They said Pharaoh kidnapped her for 36 hours. Some say 36 days. And all the plagues of the five of the 10 plagues he received. Right? He loved her so much, he had his artists make a statue that looks just like her in his bedroom. Pharaoh. When Zulicha tried to seduce Yosef, Yosef, ran away from her and she ripped his clothes from the back, right? And he hid in the bedroom of Pharaoh. And he saw Sarah's statue. And when they came and did the investigation, he says, you'll find two things, I'm telling you the truth. Pharaoh has Sarah, and this is the statue. Nobody's allowed in the room of Pharaoh. Because he was the Potiphar, he was the minister. Potiphar was the murderer, right? Sarah Tabachim. And Yosef, mevorach bechol beito, he was blessed in everything. That he was allowed entrance to Pharaoh, even to the chamber. And he says, you'll find that what she ripped away from you, ripped from the back, not from the front. Because if I was doing anything, I would rip it from the front, right? Usually rip it short. So
he wanted to go.
Yes, and she ripped him.
זאת אומרת עכשיו, הקדוש ברוך הוא ברך את אברהם אבינו בגלל צרה.
כן, בטח.
בגלל שלך גם
למען ייטב לי בעדה. בסוף הוא הבין.
והיא יצאה איתו, עזבה גם היא את המדינה.
You know, she was 15 years old when Abraham married her. He was 25. She was his niece, right?
Right.
Her brother was Lot. Haran was his father.
Wait. So Sarah was his niece?
Yes. Haran that died, you know, Abraham says, I'll go to the fire with the Nimrod, right? And it says, whoever is the God is your God, is my, whatever strong, we convert to each other. I die or you
So
convert.
Sarah was the daughter of
Sarah was,
Haran.
Haran says, I'm going to go if Abraham comes out. He did a condition. You're not allowed
Was
to.
it Lot, the son
Lot
of
was
Haran?
the son of Haran. Achsel Sarah.
Lot was the brother
Of Sarah, yes. Achia.
פעם ראשונה.
צריך
כן.
רבנו הקדוש. אתה יודע, בארץ
איזה
קרה
קדוש.
מקרה, בארץ קרה מקרה, אישה התחתנה עם מהנדס,
כן,
והוא קיבל עבודה, ג'וב בגרמניה,
אוקיי,
והיא לא הסכימה ללכת.
נכון, אוקיי.
היא רצה גירושים, הוא לא רצה לתת לה, הלכה לג'אדג'. הלכה לבית
כן,
משפט.
כן, בית
בית
דין.
משפט אזרחי, לא בית דין.
אוקיי, אזרחי.
בית דין לא הסכימו לתת לה
בטח,
גירושים.
כן.
באו לבית משפט, אז השופט קבע, תראה מה הוא קבע, אני אומר את זה חוכמה של התורה.
כן.
הוא אמר לה, את חתנת איתו ללכת בדרכיו,
נכון,
בדרך שלו.
נכון,
את לא רוצה, את חייבת.
נכון. גם אם את רוצה או לא.
חייב אותה, או שתשאר בלי גט, או שתלך אחריו תהיה אשתו.
חזק
זה אני
וברוך.
מעריך
שופט
אותה.
טוב.
בימים ההם, לא היום.
היום
היום אני לא יודע מה יקרה היום.
היום זה
Brother,
בג"ץ.
speaking
היום
of
אני לא
making
יודע
happy
מה
the
יקרה.
wife, it's almost everything.
The mincha is at 8. Are we okay?
Oh, the mincha is until 8?
Yes.
7:55.
היו שופטים
7:55.
פעם בארץ,
Where you
זה
do
משהו
mincha?
אחר.
So at Chabad,
חב"ד
But-
בני אגורה.
in Agora. But, you know, listen,
So you just come to
Be'ezat Hashem, let's organize some more. We have minyan here after shiur.
Yeah, I hope,
Yeah,
I
next
hope.
time. Bezrat Hashem.
Be'ezat
Nobody
Hashem.
worry.
You know, I want to
Okay,
tell you
no,
about
no,
Tisha
no,
B'Av. You know, Tisha B'Av, how many things happen on Tisha B'Av? As we know, Adon Gal taught us a couple things.
So
It
you don't
says,
daven here always, you daven always on Shabbat?
if we have a minyan, we daven. If not, we go.
Okay.
I love to have a minyan.
Yeah, we don't have a minyan.
We have always 8, 9, you know. But
Next time, let me know. I bring my 2 kids.
yes,
Yeah,
see,
so-
you brought them today. We'll
I
have
brought
a
them
day.
today, I will have a meeting. That would be amazing.
Be'ezat
יש
Hashem.
לנו סידורים אבל?
Yes, סידורים, יש הכל.
Soon we're gonna have...
לא, לא, יש פה מלא.
He's gonna be here every week too.
יש לנו
No,
פה סידורים. טוב,
I mean, that would be down to 7.
All right, so-
Then I bring the baby.
נעשה פה סליחות גם כן.
תאמין לי, זה כיף.
By the way, we're also going to do slichot here.
Really?
Yes,
Yeah.
every morning at 5 a.m.
5 a.m.
He loves to get up.
What you're gonna...
Okay,
Sorry.
Rafael,
Shabbat shalom.
are you leaving?
Shabbat shalom.
I have to.
It's okay. Go through here. This way.
Shalom.
Thank you.
It has been such a privilege.
So, Rafael, before you leave,
I
I wanna
can do
ask
this all day. It's
Rafael, before you leave, I wanna ask you a question.
Wait. I want to tell you a story. Go ahead. Before you leave. God bless you. I want to listen, everybody. Listen, I want to tell you something about Raphael that we just found out about last month. Adon Shemesh. Listen, you know, when I was in San Diego in the Kollel, one of our rabbis is from Mexico City that does Spanish classes. Okay? So in the COVID, he calls me from Mexico City and he says to me, listen, there's a guy, he's in very, very bad condition. Please pray for him and do shiurim for him. Okay? The wonderful Jew, very powerful in the film and TV industry. So he gave me the name and we do for 3 months. We do Tehillim every day. We learn, we mention his name. I meet him and that's him.
Wow, God bless you. God bless
This
you.
is in the year of the COVID. We were doing tefillin for him worldwide. We have a club of Tehillim, 3,700 members that does Tehillim for everybody that needs. And then we used to pray for him and do Tehillim and do shiur.
Without knowing.
We don't know him.
God bless you.
Rafael Chaim.
What is Paramec?
The energy of Am Yisrael.
Amen.
Partners.
Okay, let's continue.
God bless you.
Shabbat
Shabbat
shalom.
shalom. Hope we see you every time.
Amen.
We need to bring a lot of people.
Bezat Hashem. All right, so Tisha B'Av, you know, Many things happen on Tisha B'Av, right?
תראה, הוא לא יכול,
יאללה, עכשיו אפשר?
וגם אני לא יכול.
יאללה.
אני מחכה שמישהו יתחיל.
לא, הנה,
אז בעזרת השם, let's continue.
זה הבית שלו.
We have about 25 minutes, okay? יאללה. תשעה באב, אסונות שקרו בתשעה באב.
קודם אתה,
You know, תשעה באב,
התחלת ראשונה.
הגזירה על דור המבול שלא ייכנסו לארץ הקודש, happen on תשעה באב. תשעה באב.
Something very important. He mentioned something about marriage. My brother, he's not married. He never had kids. He's not married, and he used to tell every Friday, "Hey, look." He said, "You jealous that I'm happy, and you having all this headache." 30 years later, he's like
So מה
that.
לקחת?
Yeah, Allah,
He's
מה
sad.
לקחת? לטעום או
He said,
לאכול?
"This should have been my kid. This should have been my
זה
daughter."
דוגמה?
Yes,
דוגמה?
התעצלתי
it's
לחתום.
the best thing to have במשפחה.
התעצלתי לחתום.
Okay, let's do a little bit about תשעה באב and we're done. הגזירה, so you know when the מרגלים,
סליחה, רב דייקר,
כן, כן.
לא הייתי בהתחלה. מי זה הבחור? במקרה באו לבקר מסן דייגו?
אין מקרה, לא, הוא גר פה. כשהוא היה, הוא במקסיקו סיטי במקור.
כן.
הוא בא לגור פה, והוא קיבל כובד ושמו אותו בבית חולים, והרופאים כבר ותרו עליו.
כן, הוא היה
הרופאים אמרו שהוא הולך למות.
וואו.
And we said, no, his rabbi called me from Mexico City. They said, listen, you don't know him, but please pray for him. We
He
did to
was
him.
here.
הוא היה פה, קיבלנו טלפון מהרב במקסיקו סיטי לעשות לו תהילים, הוא ניצל בזכות התהילים. הוא עשה סעודה,
אני בטוח.
yeah, no, there is a thing, he did a meal after הודיה, and he invited people that never met him. I said, why? He says, because I heard you read תהילים for me.
אתה יודע, I have something. I have a friend.
כן,
כולם מדברים עברית, לא?
כן, כן,
חבר.
קצת אנגלית.
Oh, sorry.
It's
So I
okay.
have a friend.
he's learning, he's learning.
So the same story. Our age and everything, always was afraid of COVID. He got the COVID, obviously, like everybody else. But he got sick in a way that he almost died. Now, he don't want to go to the hospital because he hears that if I go to the hospital, they're going to kill me. They do it in purpose, whatever.
Yeah.
They got him on the last second. So somehow he was there for about 4 months. And everybody was saying to him, look at his finger. No oxygen got there. So he lost part of his finger.
Oh, yeah.
Like a dead. Yeah,
Right. Yeah.
So he still have it like that.
Yeah.
So when he came, he said, you know what? Everywhere I go, I hear from Mexico, people read feelings about me.
Yes.
Like all over the world. Now I thought that he's going to kind of make him the most religious person.
You know, there's two kinds of people that awaken and people that walk.
People that what?
Awaken, that
Listen,
something
man,
happened, they wake up.
I'm not expecting.
There's people that actually fall asleep more after something happened.
Yeah.
Walk, you know, the walk system now we have in the world, right? The craziness. נכון? People should do, everybody, doesn't matter Jews or not, after the COVID, you should understand this is something that, you know, Hashem really brought the whole world into his knees. מגפה בכל העולם. You can see anything. The whole world shut down. Right? Imagine this. The whole world cannot even, people are screaming in their homes, singing ביחד. You know, in Israel, they were building, singing שירי שבת ביחד, right? It was amazing.
I remember people were singing for all the nurses and doctors.
Right,
saying,
right.
But COVID is the worst because when someone was dying, his family cannot come
They
in.
cannot come.
In a regular disease, the family
Right, in
can
the
come.
last moment they cannot be with him.
You know, when the COVID started, I felt very bad. I couldn't move out of the bed. My wife
No,
took me to the hospital. In the hospital, I couldn't move. I just didn't have the strength. I told him, "Is this COVID?" And she said, "No." She said, "It's not COVID, but we're in the hospital."
עכשיו זה
I was 4 days in the hospital, and every day
Yeah,
I
אני
was
יודע
doctor.
שהוא היה בזה,
הוא
לא
היה
ידעתי,
בזה,
אני לא ידעתי. אבל צריך לדעת פה, זה היה לך
4 days in the hospital. I said, "I want to go home."
לא,
היה
אבל
כתוב,
הוא
הוא
חזר
לא מות
בתשובה.
שבוע.
COVID,
You
you
have
know.
a pain in your head.
אבל הגיע למצב הזה, מצב של מוות.
כן?
נכון?
אבל אין, השקדוש ברוך הוא מביא אותך למקום עם העמקים כרתיחה שלך. אתה יכול להגיע למקום הכי עמוק ולחזור.
אני יודע, אבל הכוונה שלי, שבן אדם כתוב לו למות, גם התפילות לא עוזרים.
לא, זה לא נכון.
Oh, that's right.
בן אדם כתוב לו למות, אתה יכול לבטל את זה, לבטל את רוב הגזרה, נכון?
זה רק בגזרות, זה מה אני אומר.
כן,
שנגזר על בן אדם,
צדקת עצים במוות.
גזרה זה קיצור חיים.
כן,
אפשר להמשיך,
כן, אפשר להאריך על זה.
לבטל את החיים, לבטל את הגזרה. אבל אם כתב, השם כתב לו מתי
זה
ימות,
לא נכון. ברכה אי אפשר לבטל, קללה אפשר לבטל.
I left the hospital.
כן.
And then you were trying to answer me.
טוב, יאללה.
אני יודע, הגזרות מבטלים בתפילות. אני יודע.
ברשותכם, רבותיי,
אוקיי, we get back to the
רבותיי, let's just finish 10-15 minutes about the rest of the parasha. So we know Tisha B'Av, as we said, we read this parasha לפני Tisha B'Av. I always read it. Many things happen on Tisha B'Av. The first thing that happened in the world in Tisha B'Av, who knows what?
בית המקדש.
רצח, קין והבל.
תשעה באב זה היה?
Tisha B'Av. The מרגלים, Hashem then punished the people of Israel. They came on Tisha B'Av. Right? They left on the 29th of Sivan, 40 days, Tisha B'Av. באו שיקרו, בגלל זה בית חורבן הראשון, בית המקדש הראשון נחרב בתשעה באב, בית המקדש השני נחרב בתשעה באב, שלטון הרומאים בתשעה באב, מרד בר כוכבא בתשעה באב. You know, the Inquisition of Jewish people in England was in Tisha B'Av. The Inquisition in Tzarfat, in France, Tisha B'Av. The Inquisition of the Spanish people, Tisha B'Av, גירוש ספרד, Tisha B'Av. מלחמת העולם הראשונה, Tisha B'Av. The First World War started on Tisha B'Av. The Holocaust started on Tisha B'Av. גירוש המוני גטו ורשה, right? Tisha B'Av. When they took him to Treblinka. That was started on Tisha B'Av.
אז רגע, זה כל זה מעשה ידיו שכל המקרים יהיו בתשעה באב?
זה בגללנו.
אני יודע, אבל...
זה לא מעשה ידיו, זה בגללנו.
זה כאילו
אני
העונש.
יודע, אנחנו עשינו את החטאים,
כן,
אבל
כן.
הוא תכנן שזה יהיה בשעה ולא יהיה ביום אחר.
בגלל שאנחנו השתמשנו בתשעה באב במקום לטובה לרעה. המרגלים במקום
אז הוא עשה את כל החטאים, כל הדברים בתשעה באב, כל המעשים הלא טובים בתשעה באב.
You know, Sharon started the whole התנתקות מגוש קטיף תשעה באב.
באמת?
And many things. You know, it
אסור
says...
להתחיל דברים ביום הזה. אסור להתחיל שום דבר ביום הזה, משהו חדש.
אנחנו, you know, there's laws of the 9 days. There's laws of the 21 days from Yud Zayin B'Tammuz until Tisha B'Av. Those laws are not options. Many think it's like a minhag. It's not a minhag, it's halachot. What you can and cannot. אסור לנו לאכול בשר כל 9 ימים, but שבת מותר.
זה כבר התחיל לפני יומיים.
התחיל, היום.
היום זה התחיל.
אתמול is א' באב, today is ב' באב, right? It's the second day of אב.
גם לא אכלנו בשר.
כן, גם היום, גם מחר. מותר לאכול דגים. רביעי חמישי. Next week, תשעה באב, like Mr. Shem says, there's two, יש שתי צומות שצמים מהלילה עד הלילה. יום הכיפורים and תשעה באב. This is the only two fasts that we fast from the evening before to the evening after. נכון? Are you cold? Good, it keeps you awake. You know, in the military, he will tell you, him and I, we were doing a lot ma'aravim balayla, נכון? They said the worst enemy of when we do hiding at night and waiting for the enemy is when you're warm, you fall asleep.
Yeah.
If you're cold, when you're cold, you don't fall asleep. You know, I don't know if you have this in Golan, in the Sanchanim, we do Ma'arav Kochav. Everybody, you know, we do 360 degrees start, and each one has the leg on his friend, so it goes like this to always wake him up.
Ambush,
ambush. You know, very interesting. At night time, he will tell you, you can hear people from 10 kilometers away. You can hear their voice, people talking at night. 5-10 קילומטר, של לשמוע אותם, נכון? Right? You can hear people at night. The day you cannot hear from like 100 meters. You know why? The Gemara says, you know, the speed of light is faster than the speed of sound. נכון? בלילה, in the night time, there's no light. So the sound carry. There's no אין אור. חושך. You understand? האור חוצה. That's why when you hear ברקים ורעמים, right? What do you hear first?
ברק.
You see the light and then you hear the thing. First the light
Right.
and then you hear the ra'am after. It's two different speeds. That's why at night you can hear and days you cannot hear.
That's why people said that whenever you see a star, that happened already 300, 400, 500, 600 years ago.
So there's one Zohar. I have to find it. I don't remember. I used to remember. There's one Zohar says that the Levana, the moon, used to be like the sun, the same size, right? And after she sinned, Hashem broke her apart.
How
All
did
the
the moon-
stars are part of the moon.
How did the moon sin?
She said, "We cannot have two kings. I want to be the king, not the son." And Hashem made it small. נכון? But there's a Zohar says that he broke her apart, and all the stars shine like her, right? When do you see the star? From the reflection of the sun. נכון? The moon now reduced to 1.3 million. The moon can go into the sun 1.3 מיליון פעמים.
Whoa. So like,
קטן, המון
That's how she used to be, big as the sun.
wow.
שני מאורות, it says in the Bereshit.
It's crazy. When you see a full moon, it looks huge.
Yeah, but the
כי
full
זה
moon,
קרוב,
the
המון
moon is
קרוב.
always full, but the
Way
light
closer.
שבוע אתה יכול להגיע.
מקטין.
Right, because the
The
moon
Gemara
is way
says-
closer than the sun.
The moon did tshuva. The malach, when I said the moon is the angel of the moon, עשה תשובה. והשם, מה שאומרים, רואים, you see the moon in the beginning of the month is a sliver, right, a crest.
Yeah.
And the 15 is full, and then they go down again until the 29. Like it goes, that's the tshuva, right? Full, less, that. But for eternity, the moon, the sun always see her full. Because of the rotation, איך שמסתובב עם כל הכדורים והכל וזה, השמש עומדת במקום, כולם מסתובבים מסביב לשמש. The Gemara said that, the Zohar, 2,000 years ago. Only 300 years ago, Galileo 560,
נכון.
he only figured out there is more stars than he thought,
מה שגמרא ידעו לפני 2,000 שנה, המדע רק לפני 300 שנה גילה. שהכדור הארץ מסתובב, תמיד חשבו שהשמש מסתובב.
העולם יושב על בלימה?
לא,
זה מהזמן.
בארץ לעולם זה עומדת.
כן.
השמש באה, איך אמר, לא זוכר, אבל אני יודע שהארץ, העולם עומד, הכדור הארץ עומד, לא זז.
לא זז, כדור הארץ מסתובב, סביב
ושלמה
עצמו.
המלך אומר שהכל מסתובב,
כן.
ככה שלמה המלך אומר,
כן,
אני לא יודע.
כן, גם
אז הם
הרמב"ם.
ידעו יותר
You know,
מהיום.
מה?
Back then,
גלילאו, סליחה,
Yeah.
גלילאו זה שאמר שהארץ מסתובבת והשמש היא זו שעומדת, שמו אותו במשוגעים. He wasn't insane.
what's Galileo? גליל או. תסתכל בגליל, או, מה רבו מעשה.
היה אומר יום הולך ויום בא והשמש לעולם עומד.
כן,
נכון.
הוא אמר ככה,
השמש
שלמה
לעולם
המלך.
תעמוד. אז הירח מסתובבת, נכון?
הוא אומר כל היקום מסתובב.
מפה אנחנו רואים אותה כזאת קטנה. השמש תמיד רואה אותה שלמה, לא לעשות לה בושות.
איך אתה יודע אם היא גוזלת או גורעת? שמים קו למעלה. אם זה ג' גורע, אם זה ז' זורח. באמת.
חזק, לא שמעתי, יפה.
מה זה אמר?
גורע או זורח? כן.
אבל אתה שם מעל הקו של הירח.
נו.
אם זה ג' זה גורע, זה מקטל. אם זה ז' זה זורח. זה
וואו.
גודל.
חזק,
זורח נותן כוח.
יפה.
אור, מה זה האור? אור האלוקים זה האור הכוח שנותן לנו.
אומר בספר דברים יש נבואת השואה. The Holocaust, the whole, everything is in the Torah. It says, there's the skip of 50. You heard of חוק ה-50?
כל
כל 50 אותיות, לדוגמה. בספר התורה, בכל 50 אותיות יש תורה. בספר דברים, כל 7 אותיות, י' ה' ו' ה'. אבל לדוגמה, כשבשואה, כתוב שמשה רבנו ימות, והעם יזנה, ומסופרים, we count from משה רבנו, it says in the Torah, there is the skips of 50, and he said that Hashem says to Moshe, one day you will basically, Ha'am hazeh v'zana. He says to Moshe Rabbeinu, you will pass, and these people will go against me. Nahon? And he said, v'haster panai mehem, and I will hide my face from them. Hastara, right? From the word Moshe, the letter Hey count every 50, Hashoah. What happened in the Shoah? Everybody say, where was God in the Shoah?
He
Uh-huh.
himself.
No, the question is, where were we in the Shoah? Hashem is always here. לכבוד, לכבודו. Where were we in the Shoah? Most of the millions of Jews in the Shoah, most of them were like Christians. They had Christmas trees, they celebrate Sylvester.
There was a theory like that because they didn't learn the Kabbalah, because Sfarad, that's why they call us Sfaradim, because we learned the Kabbalah. In Europe, they didn't learn the Kabbalah.
So it's more than that. It's more than that. There were people that learned Kabbalah in Europe.
שרצחו היו גם חסידים גדולים.
אני בטוח שהיו,
הם
אני
אכלו
גם,
אותה
תראה,
אז
אף אחד לא
בגלל
יודע מה
האחרים,
קרה.
זה מה שקרה,
אף אחד לא יודע מה קרה.
בזמן משה רבנו שהאחרים לא חצו חטאים, אבל הם נענשו.
You know, there's books, there's Sidurim in Berlin that was found. They took the word Zion and put Berlin.
וואו.
You heard of Marmara? אתה זוכר
Yeah,
Marmara?
מרמרה, האונייה.
Yeah, what's Marmara? You know, when the Marmara came,
מרמרה.
1.5 million Israeli used to celebrate in Turkey every Shabbat, every holiday. 1.5 million Jews left Israel
A lot of people
to
went
go to Turkey. Marmara זה השם ממומר. You know, השם is upset. נכון? שלח להם מרמרה. כן.
Like the Turks hate us and all these Israelis go
You know,
to
Hitler
Turkey.
wrote in his book, I'm attacking the Jews because they left Hashem.
באמת?
כן,
היטלר ככה
מיין
אמר?
קאמפ. כן,
וואו.
הוא כתב. אני הולך להרוג את היהודים כי הם עזבו את השם.
מי כתב את זה?
היטלר.
אז זה כאילו שהשם שלח אותו.
You know, when Hitler did the first BDS,
לא, לא.
לא,
אומרים שהוא מומתה.
חצי,
סבתא או משהו, לא?
לא, מאבא.
אציל, אמרו ממוצא, אני יודע.
כן, לא יהודי.
אבל
בכל
אבא
מקרה-
זה... מי אומר את זה?
זה לא
אבא
כן,
שלו?
ממש.
כן, לא, כן. בכל
סליחה,
מקרה,
אני
כשהיה
זוכר.
BDS, the first BDS, מה זה BDS? שמעתם על BDS?
כן.
כן, בטח.
זה boycott, divest and sanction. לא לקנות מהיהודים, לא זה. On April 1st, 1930, there was the first BDS in Germany. כל חנות של יהודים, 2 שוטרים עומדים נאצים. לא נותנים להיכנס. יום שבת זה היה. אומרים ליהודים, שבת. היטלר אומר להם, סגרו את החנות, שבת. You know, Hitler, before he says, go, leave. He asked them to leave.
But we are in the same situation now. There is Goyim
Yes.
that protecting Israel from the Israelis.
That's right. And there's going that
It's like
actually destroyed
You are a
Israel
special nation.
with Israelis.
Yeah.
You heard of the Wexner?
יש נוצרים
וקסנר.
אוהבים יהודים ויש יהודים שונאים יהודים.
כן, יש
כן.
שחקן, זה האבא של אנג'לינה ג'ולי, ג'ון בויט. זה הבן אדם שהכי הרבה he loves
כן,
Israel.
כן,
the most,
ג'ון בויט.
While
Amazing.
Israelis go demonstrate and
Yes,
they're
yes,
crazy.
yes.
מה התחלת להגיד משהו? וקסנר.
כן, there is a Karen Wexner. You heard of them?
Leslie וקסנר.
Yeah, so in Israel, America, they take all the people from government, military, police, and they train them to go against Jewish people.
Crazy.
You understand that? It's Jewish money. You have a J Street. J Street is one of the group, the richest Jewish left in America that support Obama, hate Israel, hate the
I
Jews.
never understand that.
They actually give money to Arab professor to hate Israel on campuses.
זה איך קוראים לו? סיירס, איך קוראים לו?
Soros.
He was a Jew that
From Hungary.
He's from Hungary.
he agreed with the Germans to
Wow,
give them
He's not a Jew.
where the
Jewish-
Jews are so he can take his
He's not a Jew.
הוא
Jewish
עכשיו
people don't
בן
behave like that.
100, אבל הבן שלו יהיה כמוהו.
All right, so let's continue. It says something amazing. You know, it says, הקדוש ברוך הוא מקיים את הבטחת נתינת ישראל. Hashem promised to give the land of Israel, right? With Abraham Avinu already started. ראה, נתתי לפניכם את הארץ. He said, look, I'm giving to you the land of Israel. בואו, come. ורשו את הארץ. You know, ירושה, you don't have to do anything. When you get
Okay.
inheritance,
just get it.
you just get it. Right? The best gift.
זה תהליך.
אשר נשבע אדוני לאבותיכם לאברהם, ליצחק וליעקב לתת להם ולזרעם אחריהם. You know, Ben Gurion, when they were arguing in the United Nations, why the Jews should have Israel. So he brought a Tanakh with him. He says, Katuv, and he was reading this. He says, look, this is the land of Israel for the children of Abraham, Yitzchak and Yaakov. I agree with him. Come to him one Arab. I said to him, yeah, that's only if you keep Shabbat. Do you keep Shabbat? It's true.
You know, the Arabs respect הערבים, יש סיפור, אני לא רוצה לקחת זמן.
No, it's okay.
אוקיי, יש סיפור מאוד יפה, 2 דקות. I'm going to explain it in English. This is real story. My father is from Iraq. He told me thousands of stories. One of them, there was 2 Jews from Iraq, young people, they wanted to smoke on Shabbat. רצו לעשן בשבת, יהודים. But they didn't feel comfortable to go to the Jewish area.
Yeah,
They went to where the Arabs are and smoking. When they're smoking, now they're in Shabbat in the Arab area. And there is a guy with a donkey, and the donkey have a lot of vegetables, and it doesn't want to move. So the Arab guy says, "Move, you Jewish dirty Jew, move." He called the donkey dirty Jew. So one of the Jews got upset, you know, the young man. He told, "Can I talk to the donkey?" I said, "Go ahead." He didn't tell him I'm Jewish. Can I talk to him? So he went to the donkey, and he whispered something in his ear, and the donkey started jumping like crazy. He threw all the vegetables on the floor and ran away, and everything was all over. So the Arab guy called the police. True story.
Yeah.
Called the police, and in Iraq, my father told me that the court was like sometimes same day, after 2 days. So they brought the 2 Jews to the court and said, "What happened? What did you do?" And he said, he said, "Look what they did. They made the horse and the donkey go." So the judge said, "What did you do?" He said, "Look, he was calling the donkey dirty Jew. I went to the donkey. I whispered. I said, if you're a Jew, why are you working on Shabbat?" So the donkey went crazy. But then the judge, but this is the most important part now. The judge came to the Jews and said, "Okay, so you go without a fine, but stay here. Don't go." So in the end, he said, "Look, I'm a judge. I'm not so stupid. What did you do? Why the donkey was jumping like that?" So he told him, when I was whispering in his ear, כשאני לוחש לו באוזן, my friend put a cigarette in his butt. So he went nuts. So the judge said, "Okay, that was really nice, smart of you, but because you did not respect your religion, you smoke on Shabbat, I'm going to give you fine 50 dinar. Not for what you did, but for not respecting your religion." And Arabs respect the Jewish religion. If you respect your own religion, they appreciate you more.
You're right. This is the finish of the class. Look how appropriate. This is beautiful. It says in the book of the Torah in Parashat Balak, "Hen am levadad yishkon uvagoim lo yitchashav." You heard this verse? Hen, yes. Hashem says, "Am levadad yishkon." When you reside only with me, you can be among the goyim, but nobody will count you.
With me.
Nobody will pay attention to you.
זה מה שאני אומר שכל הגויים ילכו ואנחנו נשאר לבד.
But that, no, they'll be going in the world, but not in Israel.
לא בישראל, זה מה אני אומר, יצאו אותם, ילכו
The word badad in Gematria is 10, 10. badad זה 10, נכון? כנגד 10 דיברות, הקדוש ברוך הוא דיבר 10 מאמרות, 10 דיברות. הקדוש ברוך הוא says, if you're with me, you can be among the goyim, if you're with me, nobody care about you. But if you are with them, they will remind you that you're Jewish. What do you think?
Beautiful.
You understand?
Beautiful.
They will say to you, "No, hey, you're Jewish. What are you doing here? What are you doing driving on Shabbat? What are you doing smoking on Shabbat?" They will tell you that you're Jewish. So, Be'ezat Hashem, thank you so much. Sefer Devarim. Again, I want to say thank you to Mr. Gal Agozi, Be'ezat Hashem, and Mr. Selwyn, Partners in Torah, and Be'ezat Hashem, רפואה שלמה לכולם. Thank you very much. חזק וברוך.
ירפא את כל עם ישראל, אמן, אמן.
אמן כן יהי רצון.
אסלאם